Welcome to my garden, to the GinGee GoodEarth show. Today is a wonderful day, and I'm going to let the music play so that you could hear the wonderful Irene Goodnight. She's one of the Hallelujah singers from Beaufort, South Carolina. And today is October 30th, USA, Take Love. This is a GinGee GoodEarth production, Roman numeral 20, part A. I'd say A3, but it's a part of part Roman numeral 20, A2. GinGee GoodEarth, director, Ginger Lily. This is all for the American peoples and the international peoples of the world, for the good earth. So welcome you today. I'm going to let you listen to the music. The main thing today is to get the picture show rolling. It's in a loop, and you'll be able to look for the gin and the spacecraft yourself. And I'm going to do a couple things while you're watching the picture show, and then I want you to let me know in the comments section where that picture is of the creature, the gin, which is a raccoon-like creature standing up with a very dark black fur face with beady eyes, but the outline of the face is like a raccoon. And then the spacecraft is above that, and it's on the left-hand side of the photo. And I was just recently on, it's already 3 weeks ago, on third phase of Moon, and they interviewed me. And I have another fun story to tell you about the lilac chair and other things that happened in my lifetime. So I'm going to pan over to show you the fall leaves. Here's a wonderful fall leaf. I only picked up one. And then I have a pumpkin here. See the pumpkin? There's the pumpkin. And I have a pumpkin cupcake recipe to talk about. Anyway, this is going to be a very long program because we're going to let the picture show loop until you actually see the picture of the spacecraft and gin. So, and then I am going to do the reading, Chapter 7, Universal History of the United States of America. And so I thought I would also put this down so that you could actually see a picture of GinGee GoodEarth. So there I am. This is kind of, but that's who I am. And it's not a very good picture. It's a mirror image. But so there I am. Hi everybody. GinGee GoodEarth, Ginger Lily program. It's so good to be here with you today. I welcome you. And then we'll get on to the picture show. And this is my studio. Hey, look at this. This is so cute. Let's see what it says. I'll read it. If you're not the type to wear a bikini, your hips are too big or your bust too teeny, don't get upset and don't be misled. These aren't for you, but your kitchen instead. So with lots of luck and lots of good wishes, take me apart and do your dishes. And see, that's a bikini made out of dishcloths. I used to make them. And I would sell them at my PITTSBURGH Victorian Gibson Girls shows. They were big sellouts. Everybody wanted to buy the washcloth bikinis. It's a cute little joke and fun, because we want to have fun today. This is my happy place of creativity. And I hope that you can be just as creative. Whoops, I just stepped over my studio stage props. But this is my reading desk. So where I read, and I have to put a flashlight on the book. The book is so old. But again, I welcome you, and we're just going to have a nice long program. First, I'll read the Chapter 7 book, which goes over the Declaration of Independence. And I'm going to set up the picture show now. So I want to make sure that you can see. But this is my, I don't have a tripod. I don't know what happened, but I can't get the camera on a regular tripod. So let me see what we're looking at. And you're listening to Irene Goodnight. And let's see. So again, let's move this up. We're going to move the tripod up. So I want to really get a good picture. And you tell me when you see it. I don't think it's going to be a wide shot. I think it's going to be a up and down shot. So there we go. And oops, there. Okay, so welcome to the GinGee GoodEarth program. Your host, Ginger Lily, and this show is all about reading Chapter 7 in the book, The Universal History of the United States of America, and also for the third phase of Moon fans, I have the picture of Jin and the spacecraft, and my photos are in a loop on this laptop. And I hope that I have everything going with the rolling of the video. So I welcome you today, and we're listening to Irene Goodnight. And remember, you are free. I went to the candle shop, Bath and Body Works, and I bought some candles for the winter months, and they gave me a pumpkin cupcake recipe for the Halloween holiday, and the ingredients are 1 box spice cake mix, a ½ cup of water, a 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, 1 cup of canned pumpkin, 4 eggs, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. You combine all the ingredients in a bowl, mix on medium for 2 minutes, fill cupcake liners with batter 2/3 of the way full, bake for 17-22 minutes at 325 degrees, remove and let cool, then top with frosting of your choice. Okay, so that's something that you can try on your own. And then I just have to show off this wonderful pumpkin. So you can actually just take a pumpkin and paint it with a fun face. You can even copy this. It's really cute. And again, remember, when you see the picture of the Cranberry Township farm that includes the gin and the spacecraft, I want you to comment to me that you saw it on my YouTube channel, GinGee GoodEarth, the comment section for this video. And this is the chemtrails, so that's a real thing. And there's the plane. I can point to it. There's the airplane that's releasing all those chemtrails. So I also want to put some more light on. And you can tell me when you see the gin. fun. The dandelions at Twin Lake. Universal History of the United States of America, Chapter 7, Revolution Continued. In October 1775, General Gage was succeeded by General Howe in command of the British troops at Boston, which has been blockaded through the winter by the army under Washington. That's General Washington, 21 years of age. Congress, being desirous to support the views of the Commander-in-Chief, resolved that if General Washington and his council of war shall be of opinion that a successful attack may be made upon the troops in Boston, he should make it in any manner he might think expedient, notwithstanding the town and property in it might be destroyed. In the reply of the general, he thus speaks: it is not in the pages of history to furnish a case like ours, to maintain a post within the musket shot of the enemy for 6 months together without ammunition, and at the same time to disband one army and recruit another within that distance of 20-odd British regiments, is more than probability ever was attempted. But if we succeed in the latter, as we have done in the former, I shall think it one of the most fortunate events of my whole life, that we may be able to judge of the means at this time possessed by Washington. For offensive operations it is merely necessary to observe that his whole force consisted of less than 9,000 men, 2,000 of whom were utterly destitute of arms. The general pressed Congress to raise a regular army for stipulating time as a safe project on which the country might securely rely. The propriety of this step was seen by Congress, and on the 1st of March the army numbered 14,000 and was soon reinforced by 6,000 of the militia, amounting to all to 20,000. His operations now commenced in good earnest. The detachment at Roxbury was ordered to take possession of Dorchester Heights, while the commander-in-chief was to cover this motion by a bombardment of the town. On the night of the 4th of March this was accomplished, and the works thrown up which would secure them for the guns of the enemy. The light of the day opened the eyes of the commanding general to the danger of his situation. One of two things must be done, and that immediately. Either the American troops must be dislodged, or Boston must be evacuated. The English admiral saw that the fleet was at the mercy of the provincials, and the general determined to attempt dislodgment. 3,000 men were detached for this service, and Lord Percy, who was to command the expeditions, actually embarked for the execution of the project. He was, however, providentially prevented from the attempt by the roughness of the weather. In expectation of this, however, Washington had made preparations to attack Boston. The moment the British general commenced a hostile step in this quarter, General Howe, finding himself a very unpleasantly situated, sent a flag of truce to the American headquarters, notifying General Washington of his intention to evacuate Boston, but threatened to destroy the town in case he should be molested. On the 16th at night the British troops embarked, and the next day sailed for Nantucket, Rhodes, and in a few days the whole fleet set sail for Halifax. Immediately after the evacuation of the English army, Washington entered the town and spread joy through the colonies. The joy of the inhabitants was excessive, and the general was received with every demonstration of gratitude. They were now relieved from the abuses of the insolent soldiery, and from the distresses occasioned by hunger. A resolution was passed in Congress expressing the thanks of the nation, and a gold medal was ordered to be struck, with an appropriate device commemorating the event, which should be presented to the commander-in-chief. In the meantime, the royal governors at the south were not idle. Lord Dunmore of Virginia endeavored to counterwork the revolution, but he was compelled by the patriots of the state to relinquish the attempt and to go on board the fleet for safety. Chagrined at his defeat, he determined to avenge the affront, and on the night of the 1st of January, 1776, we're on 1776, he caused fire to be set to Norfolk, which was destroyed. These depredations were continued until they disgusted the most loyal of his party, when he departed with his booty of about 1,000 soldiers for Florida and the Bermudas. In North Carolina, the governor attempted the same play, but his plot was defeated, and the insurrection was suppressed by the patriotism and intelligence of the people. About the middle of February, the American Navy, so we're on the American Navy, under Commander Hopkins, set sail from Cape Henlopen, and soon surprised and dismantled a fort in New Providence, taking off 40 pieces of iron ordnance and 15 brass mortars. The governor, lieutenant governor, and one councillor fell into the power of the Commodore. In the forepart of March, the fleet captured a British schooner, and the next day took a bomb brig laden with arms and military stores. A bomb brig laden with arms and military stores. On the day preceding, the fleet engaged a sloop of war carrying 20 guns, but night separated them, and the next day the sloop escaped into Newport. When the intelligence of the two first battles between the British and the colonists reached Great Britain, with the information that General Washington was appointed commander-in-chief, the impressions on the people and the government was very serious. Okay, and I hope you're still watching the picture show. You let me know when you see the picture in the comment section of the Gin and the spacecraft. So, Commodore Hopkins set sail from Cape Henlopen and soon surprised and dismantled a fort in New Providence. taking off 40 pieces of iron ordnance and 15 brass mortars. The governor, lieutenant governor, and one councillor fell into the power of the commodore. In the forepart of March, the fleet captured a British schooner, and the next day took a bomb brig laden with arms and military stores. On the day preceding, the fleet engaged a sloop of war carrying 20 guns, but night separated them, and the next day the sloop escaped into Newport. So I've been to Newport, Rhode Island, and Newport, California, and very beautiful marinas in both places. So I saw in Newport, California, I saw the famous about 125-foot catch schooner with the Shamrock flag on it. It was the Shamrock ship. Now, in Newport, Rhode Island, I got to see the very brand new solar power yacht. It was very beautiful. And I took some great pictures. And there I danced with the Commonwealth Dancers of Providence, Rhode Island. And I attended many balls and had fun with Victorian ballroom dancing. And there was also many World War I and II reenactors, along with the Civil War reenactors. But yeah, there's, enthusiasts that want to replay the roles of different maritime wars, or like Vietnam War, reenacting the customs and culture of that era and time, because they don't want to forget. They want to remember the great sacrifices that American troops have made to benefit our country. And that's why it's so important to get out and vote. And today's October 30th, and we're going to get out and vote. And I wrote this a long time ago. Because of the 21st century, informational age, the awkward cultural lag times today, where everyone is interested in the dollars, there are a gazillion things, ideas that propagate, that are false or false rumors. Then good thinking thinkers can discern the facts and fight off the rumors. And we have the millennials, I think, are from 1989. And then there's another group after that, and you may know that. I just read about it. I was reading about the millennials and how they think of culture in America today. And I have a lot of things to read, and I will have a newspaper party. And so, and I read the newspaper, like 3 newspapers daily, early in the morning. The millennials are born between the ages of 1981 and 1996. And then the Generation Z are born between 1997 and 2012. So we're all wanting a better America, and we want to be free of all the scandals. Now here's a fun poem, and I'm going to get back to the book, and I don't mean to jump around, but I'm going to put the book down, and I'm going to read a poem. I came into a hostile land, okay, by L.B. Johnson, and it goes like this. So this kind of fits the theme. It's, you know, it's Halloween on Saturday, and I'm going to do some fun festivities. And I think of Halloween as pumpkin and pumpkin pie and pumpkin cookies and pumpkin tea and pumpkin coffee. That's how I think of Halloween. Here we go. Here's the fall leaves and the pumpkin and the acorns and the pine cones that are falling. And I read you the pumpkin cupcake recipe, and you can get that from Barnes, the Bath and Body Works is giving out that pumpkin cupcake recipe. And without further ado, let's get to the poem. I came into a hostile land. I came into a hostile land, expecting kindness and friendship, for I came from a peaceful land in which kindness and friendship was all we ever got. But all that welcomed me was foul land, water, and sky. And the first words I heard were, "Bleep it," moving you clueless sots. So my companions were all gathered and made to walk around the bend. We gasped, for we saw our benefactors were evil liars instead. Here's a cute picture. It's a spaceship with unknown aliens on the spacecraft. Earth, instead of a beautiful dream, while I gasped and I coughed, I thought of one thing. Our paradise was a slave world, a horrible nightmare. And as I looked down at my pale green skin, I cursed the day I ever heard of Earth or the Earthlings who tricked us into going so very, very far away. And this is the footnote. Humans dream of encountering alien life. Unfortunately, one only has to look at history to know that they'll probably be considerably less delighted at encountering us. Finny. The end. So we'll get back to reading, and so we talked about Newport, and that was the last sentence in the paragraph. When the intelligence of the two first battles between the British and the colonists reached Great Britain with the information that General Washington was appointed commander-in-chief, the impressions on the people and the government were very serious. The king and the ministry, however, determined to carry on the war. On the 26th of October, the Parliament was convened, and the speech of the king evidently supported the unnatural controversy. There's 9/11. That was at the museum. See the picture of the World Trade Center? They're very sad. That was very sad. That was very unnatural. In both houses, the opposition was strong, but the ministry prevailed, and the supplies were granted. Sir Peter Parker and Earl Cornwallis sailed from Portsmouth in December for Ireland with the ships Action and Thunderbomb as a convoy for the transports, with 4,000 troops intended for service in the colonies. In this fleet came Colonel Allen, who had been confined in Pendennis Castle, Cornwall, and treated with much severity. A subscription was opened for him and his companions in Ireland, which was the first humane attention he had received since his imprisonment. About this time, the bargain with the King of England for 17,000 men to be employed in this war by the Prince of Hesse-Kassel, the Duke of Brunswick, and other German princesses was sanctioned in Parliament. I didn't say princess, I said princesses. Princess, a prince with a S, was sanctioned in Parliament by a vote of 242 to 88. In the spring of 1776, 2 divisions of these mercenaries sailed to America. The estimate for the service against the liberties of America amounted to 60,000 men. The Cork fleet, under the convoy of Admiral Parker, arrived in Cape Fear River on the 3rd of May, where they were joined by General Clinton from the Northern Army. On the 5th, the offer of pardon on the certain conditions was published by the general, but finding his efforts to stem the tide of popular feeling of little avail, the fleet sailed to Charleston, South Carolina, and anchored off Sullivan's Island about the 1st of June. The siege of Charleston was opened by the offer of pardon, as in North Carolina, and with equal effect. The day of proclamations and smooth words had come too late. Governor Rutledge had prepared for a vigorous defense, and militia cheerfully rallied around the flag of their country. At this critical moment, General Lee appeared at the head of some northern regiments and took the command of Charleston. The enemy crossed the bar on the 26th of June with a number of ships and frigates, and operations were commenced with little delay. The fire from the American fort and batteries, however, was too galling, and the squadron was compelled to withdraw. After the loss of the 50-gun ships and a damage to others, which rendered them for the present useless. One may form an estimate of the contest by learning the fact that 7,000 loose balls were picked up on Sullivan Island after the battle. That's a lot of cannonballs. So if you go to Charleston, South Carolina, and you follow the road on the Battery, you'll see a lot of the old cannons in the park, and you also will see a wonderful Air Force, Navy aircraft carrier in Charleston. So we have pictures of Ticonderoga taken by the Americans May 10th, 1776, and I have a picture of the Sergeant Jasper rescuing the American flag at Charleston, June 26, 1776, and that's on page 1. That's this page right here. So I have to flash the light on that. So. And then the other picture. So. Sorry about not having better light. Okay, my batteries are going. So, again, this is Miami, Florida, at the Pelican Hotel. The pictures. There's a sunset on the Atlantic Ocean, and you can see the offing. The offing, what lies between the ocean horizon and the sunset, there's a line there. See, there's a line, and that's what you call the offing. Okay, and to tell, if you want to find out how many 15 minutes, every 15 minutes your hand is equal to 15 minutes, and if you take your hand on the horizon, well, from the sun to the horizon, you can tell basically how long it will be for the sun to set. So if you have 4 hands, that's 1 hour that the sun will set. So if you have 4 hands from the sun, it's a neat way to do it. And today's been a real busy day, but the main goal today is for you to see the picture of the gin creature and the spacecraft. And that's on the Norwegian cruise line. There's the cruise line ship. And here's a quote. This is a cute quote that just came out of the book. Your deeds speak so much louder than any than another's words. Okay. Your deeds speak so much louder than another's words. So I want to give a shout out to Susie's Creations at Jeanette Antique Stores near Blairsville, Pennsylvania. And Susie's Creations, they're all homespunnesses. In other words, they sew and they crochet a lot of beautiful things. And right now they're making multiple masks for adults and children out of beautiful fabrics. I bought 2-3 horse fabric masks for myself when I do the horse show judging. And Susie's Creations, I told them I would give a big shout out. They're watching me while they're at the Flea Teak Market at Jeanette. So we saw the pictures, so now I want to go on, because this is real exciting. This is 1776, and we're doing the signing of the Declaration of the Independence. And then we have Chapter 8, Revolution Continued, Capture of New York. So let me try to finish. Hopefully we'll see the gin, and then I can catalog this. So, but this is just basically We're ad-libbing. Oh, what is this? We're ad-libbing and having fun. This is, ooh, I just spilled it. Whoa. That's not going to work. Okay, so that's forsythia and rhododendron bushes with the sun coming in. So it's still recording. I had to do a lot of fun things to my equipment so that I could record longer stuff. And let's put this right here. I don't know if I can do this. Whoa. That doesn't work. Don't buy those. I was trying to have fun with this, but those do not work. Okay, let's light some candles. And I want to put the music back on. Okay, but let's light the candles. They say, if you have fresh new candles, you should light them. So this will help me read. I can't see. That's why I'm holding up here. So it's just not my day. It's not my day. I don't know how many times I pressed the play button. So it's going now. Oh wow, this is really great lighting. I bet you could see everything now. I just lit 4 more candles. There's the Army. Let's take out the look and see glasses. My Army songbook. And again, this GinGee GoodEarth programming is a preliminary to what possibly I can produce and direct in the future, because I do want to have people to visit and do on-site interviews. I would like to do the Zoom. I'm also available to be a part of somebody else's YouTube channel if they want to talk about history and ask me questions. So, but these are the look and see glasses, and I hope that, I'll be putting out more programming. I have a lot of books to read, so I do have a lot. I have a lot on my agenda to get accomplished. And the other fun thing I wanted to read was the Amish. So let me finish up the universal history of the United States of America. Now that I can see with the candles lit, I'll be able to read a lot faster. So, page 176. The Cork fleet under the convoy of Admiral Parker arrived in Cape Fear River on the 3rd of May, where they were joined by General Clinton from the Northern Army. On the 5th, the offer of pardon on certain conditions was published by the general, but finding his efforts to stem the tide of popular feeling of the little avail, the fleet sailed for Charleston, South Carolina, and anchored off Sullivan's Island about the 1st of June. The siege of Charleston was opened by the offer of pardon, as in North Carolina, and with equal effect. The day of proclamations and smooth words had come too late. Governor Rutledge had prepared for a vigorous defense. I don't know what that word is. Defiance. And the militia carefully rallied around the flag of their country. At this critical moment, General Lee appeared at the head of some northern regiments and took the command of Charleston. The enemy crossed the bar on the 28th of June. with a number of ships and frigates, and operations were commenced with little delay. The fire from the American fort and batteries, however, was too galling, and the squadron was compelled to withdraw. After the loss of 150 gunships and a damage to others which rendered them for the present useless, one may form an estimate of the contest by learning